Alrighty, so while it is halftime between Sporting KC versus the San Jose Earthquakes, this is a perfect time for me to squeeze in the review of the earlier game because I actually got back to the hotel a little earlier than I anticipated, and I was actually able to watch the full game of the Red Bulls versus Charlotte. Well, actually, by the time I got back to the hotel, it was already in the beginning of the second half, but I basically started watching the first half, and then for the first half of the Sporting KC versus the Quakes game, I watched the second half of the game, so I was kind of simultaneously watching both of those games. Though I will say that I want to thank the New York Red Bulls, kind of make it a little easier in terms of me simultaneously watching the game, and I kind of focus a little bit more on the Sporting KC and San Jose Earthquakes game, at least in the last 20 minutes, because yeah, who would have thought that this would be a game where it could be a blowout and there could be a 7 goal fest? I mean, for two teams that have been struggling to score goals, and especially the Red Bulls, I mean, this is by far the best attacking performance they have put pretty much this whole season and maybe in quite a while. Now, early on in the first half, and actually, let me get the notes on. I actually wrote the notes on this phone, so I'm going to read out to you guys while we speak because obviously with the Shroud War, it's not going to fit the notes here. So, unsurprisingly, early on, as I mentioned before in the preview, I was expecting there was going to be some empty seats in this game, and there was. There was definitely some empty blue seats. Not as much as I thought in the lower bowl. It was kind of about 75% full in the lower bowl, and I'm pretty sure the Apple TV producer, they were trying their best to not show the upper bowl, because if you look at the upper bowl at Red Bull Arena, it was just completely empty with blue seats. I mean, they might as well just kind of tarped off the upper deck, though I can understand why that isn't the case, because that would be pretty embarrassing to try to tarp off the upper bowl for a game that it's win or go home in terms of the wild card round. Now, I thought early on the Red Bulls had most of the possession. Manuel would blast it high from close range as the flag went up. So even if he wouldn't, or even if he scored there, it wouldn't have counted. But little did we know that he would have a big night in this one, because it started in the 10th minute, where this time Elias Manuel would put the ball into the back of net from Edelman to make it 1-0 in favor of the Red Bulls. That was the Red Bulls' first shot of the game, and it came off of a terrible turnover from the Charlotte defense. This Charlotte defense clearly did not show up in this game whatsoever, because my goodness, they were just getting cut open by the Red Bulls time and time again. Now, in the 12th minute, Vargas did try to respond, but he was denied by Cornell. The Red Bulls, I thought, was still well in control of this game. And Charlotte, there was a time where there was an injury break that was happening, and Christian Kalina had to gather his troops and basically had to do a huddle there, because, it was pretty clear that Charlotte not only did not show up for this game early on, but they were just completely disjointed. Like, whatever formation and whatever tactics that Christian Latanzio's threw in the beginning of this game, it did not work whatsoever. And that I think Kalina was trying to rally his group and hope that this tactics would still work out until Latanzio's maybe figure something out during the middle of the game, or maybe during halftime. Well, it didn't quite work out so well, because just a couple of minutes after that, the Red Bulls would get the second goal. It's John Token scoring the second goal for the Red Bulls. So Token, of course, scoring the goal to the Red Bulls to this game score again here. And what a free kick it is. I mean, John Token, he is definitely going to be a guy that I'm going to be looking an eye on, and that he's probably going to be the next Red Bulls player that's going to make that big money move to Europe, and could potentially be a future U.S. men's national team player, because this kid had so much talent in his hand, and that was just kind of one of them with just an amazing free kick, and that Kalina had no chance in terms of saving that. But they also mentioned the fact that the Red Bulls are 6-0-1 when scoring 2 goals. So when they score 2 goals, they usually win. And it makes sense, because, this is a team that doesn't score 2 goals or more very often. But, with the way that they have a relatively good defense, they don't lose any games when they score more than 2 goals. So that's definitely not great news for a Charlotte FC. They're going to have to do something that Red Bulls haven't done this season, which is lose despite scoring 2 goals. Shvedetsky did look to respond on the free kick himself, but he missed wide there. He didn't miss wide by much. I mean, that one was just over the top of the net. But then in the 37th minute, Elias Manuel scored again. This time he scored from Token to make it 3-0 in favor of the Red Bulls. Once again, that Charlotte defense non-existent whatsoever. And I thought this could get ugly for Charlotte, because, it's one thing to not show up for a playoff game, but to be 3-0 down after just 37 minutes. Really? Against the Red Bulls of all team? I mean, that was definitely something I did not expect it to happen. Though in the second minute of stoppage time, Cornell did rob Nathan Byrne from point blank, but we do head to halftime with the Red Bulls winning 3-0 against Charlotte. But in the second half, Charlotte did get one back immediately, as in the 49th minute, Carvin Vargas, he all of a sudden cannot stop scoring goals. He scored here from Schwadetsky and Bronico, and what a goal it is. I mean, if you want to talk about the goal of the playoffs this season, we might have already had one in the first game of this year edition of the playoffs. I mean, off the bicycle kick there, a spectacular goal there from Carvin Vargas. And hey, when you're hot, you're hot, and you can do something spectacular like that. And so you're thinking, well, Charlotte got one back. Look like this is the perfect response. Are they gonna maybe get a second to make this interesting, right? No, because in the 57th minute, Tom Barlow would score from Tolkien and Luquinez. You know your defense is bad when Tom Barlow, of course, score against you. And I know I've said before that, no disrespect to Tom Barlow, but yeah, I mean, when Tom Barlow is able to get on the score sheet, you definitely have some serious question in terms of your defense. And it could have been 5-1 in the 64th minute when Luquinez struck the post from close range. Again, this Charlotte defense, the defense was just nowhere to be found whatsoever. They were letting the Red Bulls do whatever they want on the attacking end. But despite the fact that the defense did not show up, at least the attack kind of showed up in the second half, because in the 64th minute, Patrick Ajiman, he scored from Kalina here to make it 4-2 in this game. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know why Ajiman doesn't get more minutes for the Charlotte team. Yes, I understand that, they have to put Schwadetsky there, and, he's kind of the showpiece kind of player. But Ajiman has played well for the Charlotte team this season, especially in the League Cup. I thought he was excellent, and that he's shown again coming off the bench here, scoring here. Though, yeah, that was not great defending from the Red Bulls. I mean, it was a route one ball there. Ajiman basically just beat the entire Red Bulls back line there, and that, yeah, just like that, it was 4-2 in this game. And then Schwadetsky would put one in the dangerous area, which unfortunately no Charlotte player was able to tap in. And all of a sudden, I thought the momentum was with Charlotte. Like, even though this is still a two-goal lead for the Red Bulls. I mean, you've seen this before. You've seen this story before with the Red Bulls having two-goal leads in the playoffs and how they blow it. And you're just thinking, is this going to be one of those that so Metro moment again for the Red Bulls? And this could be even worse with them blowing a three-goal lead. But Elias Manuel makes sure that's not the case, because in the 78th minute, he completes the hat trick here from Luquinez and Edelman. That's the first hat trick in an MLS playoff game since 2019. Jordan Morris, of course, scoring that hat trick against Dallas. I still remember that game. That was just a statement game there for Jordan Morris, and a game that he basically carried the Seattle Sounders to make it to the playoffs with the way that Dallas just keep fighting back in that one. But yeah, in the end, the Red Bulls, I mean, I did not expect them to win this one by a 5-2 margin, especially score 5 goals in this game, which I forgot to also mention, that is the most goal that the Red Bulls have scored in their playoff history. And yeah, they're now moving on into the next round. The shots in this one, I actually write the shots on the board, so I'm going to take a look. 11 shots compared to 13 that Charlotte has. 4 shots on goal compared to 5 that the Red Bulls had. 6 shots off target compared to 5 that, or actually no, 6 shots off target compared to 4 that Charlotte has. 5 shots that was blocked compared to none that the Red Bulls had. And possession-wise, Charlotte did had more of the possession. That was mainly because in the second half, the number kind of even out. I thought Charlotte had some opportunity to score, but yeah, in the end, the Red Bulls, they were just being clinical in this game. And that, again, as I said, this is probably the best attacking performance I've seen the Red Bulls had done throughout the season, because throughout the season, it's been a struggle for this Red Bulls team to get anything going on the attacking end. But yeah, goal scoring explosion is the reason why they're now moving on into the next round. And now it's going to be interesting to see how they do against FC Cincinnati. Now, I know there's going to be people that say, well, yeah, FC Cincinnati is still going to trounce on the Red Bulls. And they still might, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as what people would think, especially the Red Bulls. They would think that this might be a game that they can use as momentum heading into the next game. And then this is where we have the discussion about momentum, and that, for teams that they're playing against, teams that just won a wild card round, does that actually make a difference that the momentum, of course, would carry into the next game? Now, the one counter argument to that is that, well, we can at least give momentum for the Red Bulls maybe in game one. But keep in mind, this is a best of three series in the first round of the playoffs. This is not a win or take all as we have seen last year or the last two season, or a two-legged affair as we have seen before in MLS. So again, it should be very fascinating to see whether or not if the Red Bulls can win those two games in that best of three series against Cincinnati. One thing for sure is that I think it's going to be closer than what people think. I don't think it's going to be a trouncing. You don't usually see the Red Bulls get blown out very often. You do see them creating that so metro moment, and I'm pretty sure the Red Bulls fans are waiting for that to happen. But for Charlotte FC, well, yeah, this was definitely not a great first experience in the playoffs, and that again, there's going to be a lot of blame that's going to go on this one. I think one of the biggest blame has to be Christian Latancio. It's pretty clear that he did not get the tactics right in this game. Like, whatever tactics that he used in the first half was completely wrong. It completely favored the Red Bulls in terms of their pressing system, and that by the time he was trying to adjust in the second half, it was a little bit too late because they found themselves still being exposed on the defensive front, and that's also the other part of the big blame for Charlotte downfall. The defense, they just did not show up whatsoever in this game. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this game? And like I said, I was not expecting to do this review tonight, but thankfully, because I got back in the hotel because it was actually raining outside, I decided to get back early before the rain hits. That's why I was still able to watch pretty much the whole part of this game. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button in about 45 minutes, or maybe a little bit longer, depending on how that Sporting KC and San Jose Earthquakes game is going. One thing I'll say about that game right now is that at least the Quakes are keeping it 0 on the score sheet, and that's all I'll say. As I'll give kind of a little spoiler of what we saw in the first half of that game, but I'll definitely talk about that game once that game is concluded. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.